Is the Head of Government Relations, APJ, for Acronis. He and I've actually met before at a previous Acronis event. Gabriel has over 9 years experience working in the government sector in Singapore and 3 years working in the private sector, mostly for the semiconductor industry. Over to you, Gabriel.
Thank you, Simone. And a very good morning to all of you here. Thank you for coming down to the Singapore leg of the Cyber Summit. Today, what I'm going to talk about is Acronis and why we see ourselves as a cyber dragon in the Lion City. Now, as many of you may know, in Asian culture, the dragon represents a mythical creature which is very powerful, very strong, and gives good fortune and prosperity. Now, over the course of my slides, which is only 10 minutes long, not too long, I will share with you why we also see it's our good fortune to have set up our HQ, our international headquarters, right here in the Lion City of Singapore. Now, when we all look at economic growth, we all tend to see how countries grow strongly from one phase to another. A very good proxy of economic growth is the growth of your trading ports. I want to show this slide because if you look at the last 40 years on the left-hand side, to the right-hand side where we are today, Singapore has grown tremendously as a trading hub. From number 5 in position in the 1980s, we were behind most of the European and American countries. The top was New York, New Jersey, and Rotterdam was second. And look where we are today right now. Singapore is now number 2 in the world in terms of trading ports. And which are the other cities? All based in China. Now, we can also see here what's happening. Asia is now also becoming the economic center of the world. If you look at the GDP growth nominal by continent, you see that Asia has the largest proportion of GDP contribution to the whole world. And a lot of that GDP growth is actually contributed by the enormous population that is actually centered right here in Asia. As you can see, China and India actually contribute 25% of GDP to the world's economy. And this is also continuing to grow rapidly. And that brings me to my other point. Patrick earlier today mentioned about how digitalization is driving cyber protection growth right here in Asia. And we do see it also in our Cyber Protection Operations Center insights. Now, we did a report and we did a survey, and we found that the top 2 countries in the world where there were a lot of attacks through phishing, through malware, through ransomware, is actually right here in Asia. And China and Singapore are the top 2 countries that have been attacked the most. What Acronis has done is to set up cyber protection operation centers around the world so that we can be close to where the heart of the issue is. Not just in Singapore, but in Israel, in Switzerland, and also in the US. And this helps us to track where all these ransomware issues, phishing, are coming from. Back to Singapore. Somehow by good fortune, our co-founders set up their HQ office right here in Singapore. So it somehow came by chance. It was not by any planning strategy, but they came here almost 20 years ago and they set up their office in Singapore. Now, looking back at that cyber dragon analogy, it was probably a very good fortune that we set up our offices right here in Singapore. We started out in 2003, and by 2015, we set up our R&D center here with good support from the Singapore government. And we've grown exponentially. From just 5 people in 2015, today, I'm proud to say we have 30 times that growth, close to 150 people in our R&D office in Singapore, probably one of the biggest for cybersecurity in Singapore as well. Our key management team is based here, and also the Singapore office oversees the APAC region in 10 different countries with close to 100 people located around APAC. I just want to give you my view as a government relations officer as to why we see Singapore a key location to scale globally. There are a couple of reasons. First, a friendly business environment. As an R&D company, we cannot leave anything to chance. We want the best business environment. We want good IP protection. We cannot imagine if our code or our software gets, our good IP from our coding and our software gets espionage by other people. Second, government support. We've had lots of great government support from the Economic Development Board and the IMDA, and that has helped us grow through the years to help us plan our strategy and move forward. Third, advanced research. We collaborate with the best universities right here in Singapore, and that really is a boon to our R&D team. We exchange ideas, and that helps us to grow both our IP and our knowledge with the best in the world. The next is probably one of the most important points, political stability and neutrality. We've all heard of the issues that have been plaguing the other Asian nations around the world. Singapore, for some reason, has been very stable, very neutral. And that helps particularly for a cyber protection company like Acronis to do well and grow. And last but not least, talent. If you look around this room right here, right now, you see all the people from all different kinds of nations around the world, different regions, all staying, living, and working here. Singapore is a natural magnet for great talent around the world. And I just want to share with you some of our partnerships that we've had with the Singapore government over the years. In 3 different ways we work with them. As a thought advisor, as a thought leader and a policy advisor. Right? So we work with the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, very naturally, because we are a cyber protection company. We give them advice on how they can chart certain policies in the cybersecurity scene in Singapore. As an R&D collaborator, we work with various top universities in Singapore, like NTU and NUS, as I mentioned earlier, and that really helps us to grow our IP profile. And last but not least, as a vendor of cyber protection solution and services, right? Our products, our Acronis Cyber Protect, are trusted by the government agencies. In fact, a lot of these government agencies use our products in their systems, a testament to how well we have done in terms of our software capabilities. Before I end off, I just want to share with you a report from the Global Cyber Readiness from ITU. As I mentioned, in terms of the business and economic front, Asia is now the new epicenter. Because of digitalization, this whole gravitation towards cyber protection is also making Asia the epicenter of cyber protection. And this is also witnessed from the Global Cyber Readiness Report. If you look at the report, the 2 countries, South Korea and Singapore, in fact 3, if I may, Malaysia, a core component of the growth in Asia are coming from these countries. At the same time, the cyber report shows that these countries are also one of the most cyber ready. What do you mean by cyber ready? Meaning they have set up good infrastructure, good governance, good risk assessment to ensure that their systems, their endpoints are all protected, and there's a lot of cooperation and dialogue between the government and the private sector. So, with that, it's a short sharing today, but I hope you do have this takeaway that we do see that the future is in Asia, and Singapore is really a key part of our growth strategy in Acronis. Being not only in Asia helps us, but right here in Singapore is very important. This is our international headquarters, this is where our R&D center is, and this is where our partners like you are. So I do like to invite you, sitting over here, whether you are a partner, whether you are a government agency, or whether you're just thinking, of beefing up your cybersecurity solutions. Come team up with us. Come speak to our team after this conference. I'll be happy to speak to all of you and share more how we can work together. With that, I thank you very much for your time and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Oh, the dragon is the most auspicious sign in the zodiac. Do we have any dragons? Anyone here, Year of the Dragon? Wow, no Year of the Dragon. I'm a rat. Dragons and I get along very well. So that was wonderful. Thank you, Gabriel. And as at every single Acronis event, we do ask our audience, both here and for those of you attending virtually, to contribute to the Acronis Cyber Foundation. This is where Acronis builds schools and conducts technology training in countries around the world for young people in need. So do take a moment to have a look at that.